sale this afternoon. FIFA's general ballot opening for business. So, how do you get them and how much will you pay? The man who lives for such conundrums is Gavin Noon, Mr. Scotland's co-efficient on social media. And Gavin, you've joined us to guide us by the hand through the rather tricky case of trying to get a ticket for the world's greatest show next summer. Good morning.
Good morning, Phil.
Big question. Will the FIFA website cope with the worldwide rush at 4 o'clock, everybody logging on?
Well, hopefully it does, but if it doesn't really matter because the window is open until the 13th of January and you have an equal chance regardless of when you apply. So it doesn't matter if you get in at 4 o'clock today or 4 o'clock in a month's time, you'll have an equal chance in that ballot.
So, first bit of information, you've got a month from 4 o'clock this afternoon. That's good to know. Secondly, how many tickets are available for Scotland games?
So FIFA have been very coy in releasing any information about this, so we don't actually know, but my calculations based on what was sold in previous ballots leads me to believe there should be at least 30,000 tickets for each of the 3 Scotland games available to the general public in this FIFA ballot.
Yeah, and the big distinction there is that's not 30,000 tickets available to Scotland fans, that's 30,000 tickets available for any fan in the world that wants to watch Scotland.
Exactly. So this FIFA ballot that opens today, anybody can apply. You could have never been to a football game or a Scotland game in your life. You are eligible. For the Scotland fans specifically, there's going to be less than 4,000 tickets per match. Again, this is just my own calculation. FIFA still haven't even told the SFA how many tickets they'll have. And to enter that ballot, you have to be a Scotland Supporters Club member, and then those tickets will eventually, not until February, be allocated based on a top-down method based on the loyalty points for attending games over the last 2 years.
So, Gavin, let's just be completely clear. What we're talking about originally is the FIFA general ballot that opens up today at 4 o'clock. There's a second ballot that's also to open up, and that's the SFA's ballot for accredited Scotland fans, the Scotland Supporters Club, and there will be 4,000 tickets made available to that. But they will go to the fans that have gone to the most games and have accumulated the most points. Is that right?
That's exactly right, yeah, and that doesn't open until Monday. It's still on the same website. It's on FIFA's website. You just access it via a direct code that the SFA will send to their members. You all apply, and then in a month's time, the window closes the same day as the general public ballot. But again, you won't find out until February if you've been successful, and then that's when you will be charged as well.
Right. Now, what about those of us who have members of our family who are desperately keen to come out to the World Cup next year, and we try and bid for tickets today? Do we pay for the money up front for as many tickets as we want?
No, you put your card details in, so you commit to paying for the money, but you will only be charged in February depending on which matches you're successful for. So you can apply for any game that Scotland's in up until the final. So you could choose all 5 knockout rounds, thinking Scotland are going to get there. If you win the ballot for all 5 rounds, plus the group stages, then in February you will have a hefty bill coming off your bank. FIFA holds all that money till July and only refunds you after the tournament if Scotland are knocked out early. And lastly, just on your family thing, it's a maximum of 4 tickets per household. So if multiple people from the same household, 4 per household per match, are applying for the same Scotland games, then make sure the application in total doesn't exceed 4 tickets per household per match. If your family lives at a different address, that would be absolutely fine. It's nothing to do with surname or anything. It's purely from that household, 4 tickets per match per application.
Right, so if your house has 5 people, you're going to have to set up an account under Granny and Grandad's name to get the 5th person in for a ticket.
Exactly, yes, and I wouldn't want to advise any ways to get around that, but due to the social media policy employed, but thankfully my passport doesn't say Scotland's co-efficient, so I'm hoping I'm just going to get sneaked and under the radar.
Gavin, I'm sorry, I've been distracted by a big screen in our studio that's showing 4 grown adults dressed as an orange, a banana, and I think it's a chili.
A chili, yeah.
They're down at the darts this morning, so forgive me. We were speaking about imbeciles earlier earlier on at sports events dressed up as fruits, and there we have it. Listen, the big question in all of this is how much will a ticket cost, and is dynamic pricing, this thorny subject in the world, not just of FIFA, but in ticketing in general, is dynamic pricing involved?
Well, our friends at FIFA have not released that information, but based on the previous ballots, it looks like the tickets are going to range from around $150 at Cat 3 up to about $500 at Cat 1. It was reported that dynamic pricing would be used. There was understandable pushback to that. So FIFA then said, right, the allocations we give to the to the football associations of all the nations, that won't be subject to dynamic pricing. So whatever price the SFA is told, that will be what is charged. They've not told the SFA yet, so we don't know what that is, which leads me to believe, well, where is this dynamic pricing coming in? Apparently, it's not going to be part of this ballot, so the price that you pay or say that you're going to pay today will be the price that you're charged in February. But if that is the case, then I am struggling to see, well, at what point does dynamic pricing come into it? Because if all the tickets are sold after this ballot, it leaves no more room for them to implement it. So, well, it remains to be seen, and we'll find out at 4 o'clock when they open the ballot.
Okay. Gavin, just because I know that a lot of people will be listening to this and will be furiously scribbling notes, and we're all half asleep at this time in the morning when we're trying to furiously scribble notes. Just remind us again, 4 million tickets available today on the general sale ballot, but we don't know the price yet, and we also don't know until February if we've been accepted.
That's exactly right. It's really transparent, isn't it?
Well, you said that, Mr. Noon, not me, and I'm sure if a representative of FIFA was in this studio dressed as a tangerine or not, they would say that it's a fair and transparent process. Gavin Noon, thank you so much. Scotland's coefficient online, giving us a guide, a helpful hand, if you like, on how at 4 o'clock this afternoon we can all log on and try and book our tickets. Although, the important point I think Gavin mentioned there, there's no rush because this is going to be open for a month. So take your time, decide what games you want to go for. Best not let somebody who's desperate to go to the World Cup get hold of your screen, because they'll book for every single match, and if you're successful for every single match, it's going to be a very expensive summer.
What are your chances, do you think?
Of getting a ticket?
I mean,